Alrighty then. We are live. This is Dr. Jason Dean, Revolution Network, and it's you're supposed to go away for a weekend to like relax, work, but like de-stress and everything's dropping. And hey, Jason Q's here. How's Jason Q doing?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm
How's the
good.
sound? The
I am
sound
very
good?
proud of your podcast setup.
Well, you could thank Caroline for this. She's brilliant at
Yeah,
this.
let's give a little shout out to Caroline Behringer, who is uh like I've had to learn a lot of tech on the run. I'm a tech computer guy, I like that, but I'm not an audio and video expert. And my buddy Gil on my end has been great, and I'm learning it. But then you're a newbie, and Caroline just like got you
she's
launched.
she set this all up. So this. If you could hear me clear, thank her.
Your
She's
your
the one that
voice is like crystal
I know
clear.
crystal clear. And it's like now we really don't want to listen to him.
Oh, it's
Oh
lovely,
God.
man, and everyone's jumping on. We're oh my, that's the fastest I've ever been to 1,000 viewers. Um,
I'm
so
going.
we're gonna have fun tonight, but I mean,
Yeah.
when I say fun, we're just gonna we don't necessarily have quote unquote topics we're gonna hit because it's hit the fan, man. It's hitting the fan. Let me first say we're gonna dump into Dr. Q in a second, who's gonna be on later in the week. But I just said to you before we jumped on, right? I said I don't think people are mentally prepared and ready for what is about to drop in the next couple weeks. And what I mean by that is we're all ready for stuff to unfold. I get it. But I don't think they're ready for what is about to be unveiled. And how long have we been saying this, Jason?
Quite a while. Couple years.
I mean, I'm going to be very cautious on the words that I use because we are on social media still, and they'll block stuff. But
Yeah.
if you think it's just that Hunter Biden is a meth or crackhead, that is not the case. I mean, I didn't. Did you? So I've been on Twitter, and I did not think about this, but then I start seeing tweets that maybe he actually flipped to throw the family under the bus.
Well, the thing is that remember they said look here, not there, and everything, and they had everybody concentrated on Wiener's laptop, right? But maybe it wasn't Wiener's laptop we were supposed to concentrate on. It was Biden's laptop. What if that was the whole thing that was going to bring it down? Because the thing is, what good would Anthony Weiner and all that go on when they could just have the Hunter Biden laptop and that'll bring down the whole Democratic Party because that's who they backed. That's their man. So if you back him, then you must support everything he stands for. So, if Big Pops is taking half of it, everything he's getting from the communist Chinese and everything, because there's a difference. There's the communist Chinese and there's the good Chinese. It's
Right.
just like with anything.
Right.
There's good and bad with everything.
Correct.
But the
Duality.
communists, those are the ones that were created by the Jesuits.
Yes.
That's,
So
that's
I'm gonna show this tweet while you keep talking. I'm gonna show this
but
tweet that I stumbled on. This was less than an hour ago, and this is not just some unknown person tweeting this. This is technically a major network, major individual. Oh, hold on a second. Let me share this. I gotta share the screen. I always forget to share the screen. There we go. So that's Wayne Allen Root. Breaking news. My source is as high up as it gets. Watched videos on Hunter's laptop today. Just told me point blank, no rumor. They saw Hunter raping and torturing little Chinese children. Chinese government has the same videos. Biden is compromised, blackmailed, can never be president. So when I say, are you mentally prepared? I'm not talking about mentally prepared to find out that communist China is doing this and the deep state's doing that. Are you mentally prepared? And I don't think they're going to show certain things, but they're child trafficking, man. Like they're
well,
treating children as objects.
it's energy. I
Right.
mean, I've gone over it numerous times in all the patents. I mean, it's all coded. Carbon is human, energy is children. I mean, that's why they talk about carbon capture and storage. That's human trafficking.
Right.
They talk about anything energy. It's children. Like Burisma, it's an energy company. Okay, well, what is energy? Are we catching on now? Why would you
Yep.
pay this guy 80 something $1,000 a month? And not to mention, now you have this, right? So with that, it was like like an 8 or 9 page handwritten entry into a court. It was all stamped and everything, but it was about Joe Biden's wife's murder and the daughter, right? Where Joe Biden was driving the car behind her and pushed her into traffic and she got hit by a car. They had
What?
her, yeah, oh yeah. They had, because Joe Biden was screwing with the babysitter, which is Jill Biden right now. And so what they did is they offed, his wife and the 1-year-old daughter. And then because they were screwing around for a year. So they had the babysitter push her out in the traffic, and then she got, hit broadsided. I mean, it's all written, it's all documented, everything. And I mean, and that's the thing. It's like, now look at her. Look what Joe Biden is. I mean, she has what?
She's not innocent. I can tell you that much.
She's a PhD or doctorate in education. What does that
Right.
mean? She's around children. Hello.
Right.
I mean, they're all trafficking. Watch the wives right there. I mean, it just, I don't know. It just, when it comes to the whole, that P word, that's why I'm like, I deal with everything else because I know that's just one of those topics. It just really just fires me up because it's like, whatever you say about it, everybody's going to come out and say, no. It's like on that tweet, the second tweet down, if you notice, this one douchebag says, I doubt it. It's like, what do you mean you doubt it? You doubt? Are you serious? I mean, see, this is why they should outlaw incest. Swear to God, because of people like that.
You can outlaw it all day. They're still going to do it. So here you go. Ready? So let me put this up here.
Yeah.
Energy. All right. This is Behold a Pale Horse, Bill Cooper. Bill Cooper talks about it.
Great book.
Bill Cooper, Behold a Pale Horse, right? William Cooper. He talks in this about energy and the elite that hopefully will be going away very soon. The elite look at energy very differently. Souls, beings are energy. Like it doesn't matter your religious background at all. It doesn't mean it. You can have it, obviously. No matter what, the soul, the being, is energy. They are using. So they have energy companies. They have oil as energy. They have natural gas as energy. They have, you name it, as that light is energy. They stole from Tesla because Tesla knew how to harness the energy in an ethical, sane way. And they took it from him because they wanted to use it. But then on top of that, they also know that humans are energy, not only just our bodies, but like also the soul. And when this is the whole frequency thing that we've been talked about. Bring your vibration up. If you are a happy person and you're doing well and everything is good, family, morals, ethics, that energy is untouchable. However, they consume the energy of fear. So what happens when you have a bunch of kids being trafficked and tortured and everything else? You have a serious amount of elite energy that they are harvesting. Would you agree?
Well, that too. And then you have a bunch of people still running around with masks on their face, freaking out about this. It's like, are you guys done yet? I mean, seriously. It's like, just take them off. I mean, really.
Yep. They're still totally bought into. I mean, I was away for the weekend, and luckily we went into a restaurant, in a store, and they don't care if we're not wearing it. But I will tell you, like, people are still wearing it like the plague is on every surface.
Well, that's what they stopped. That's
I know.
The thing.
This was all.
Yeah, I mean, and it's sad too because I mean these people don't know any better, and then you have all these towns that are invoking these orders, and it's like, well, where did they get their data from? Because I mean, I just saw signs in my town that it's enforced on July 20th. I'm like, so when was this done? I mean, I could have taken some of this stuff and just stood up for the whole and said, here, there you go. I'm like, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like a male Aaron Brockovich right now. I don't know why. I just want to just go around, just start slapping the shit out of people and just say, look, right here, boom, on masks, boom, on what's going on, and boom, here's what Obama's going to do. And there it is. It's all documented. It even says not for distribution, Office of the President of the United States, but I got it. And not to mention, there was a fine patriot that sent me an email, will not reveal names, and this packet came my way.
Ooh, what's this? A gift?
This is good. Investigative report on the COVID-19 pandemic and its relationship to SARS-CoV-2 and other factors by the Association of the French Reserve Army Officers. The French went ahead and did their own. They looked into it. Oh boy.
Hey, look, wait, is it weird that we get all excited about gifts of knowledge? Like someone sends us a book and we're like, ooh, this is exciting.
Oh, it's beyond exciting. I mean, especially the ones that I found today and all that. It's just, I mean, it just, knowledge is just should be exciting anyways. I mean, it's just, I mean, it's power. I mean, and the thing is like what you want to do. You want to, release the power to the people. You want to tell people. And that's what we're doing. I mean, we're not keeping it for ourselves. We're not saying, oh, we know and you don't know. It's like, no, we want to make sure everybody knows. So when people sit here and say, oh, this guy's full of shit, this and that, it's like, well, last time I checked, I haven't seen you do over. And I mean, let's just face it. What was it? I I slept, was it Friday night? I think it was Friday night.
Yeah.
Like 12 hours. So
nice.
13 and a half hours for the week. Because I mean, I'm serious. I cannot sleep. I try, but it's just the energy and everything like that. It's pushing you because it's like,
right.
You have to get this out there to people and you have to, it's like, there's something that I'm missing. There's something I'm supposed to find. There's just something, but it's just, there's some kind of connection, but who knows? I mean, we got so much now. It's just,
so I was driving from Tampa this afternoon, so it's a good 2 hours to my house, and I was listening to a podcast. I was actually listening to Glenn Beck interview Tim Pool, and I found it. I don't always listen to them, but I mean, it looked like an interesting conversation because I know a little bit of Tim Pool's background. He's slightly anarchist / like almost a little conservative in a weird way. He used to be like hardcore liberal, and then there's Glenn, who's kind of like totally Trump now, and he was back and forth. It was a good conversation because I actually appreciate interviews where like two people from a very different background can come together and discuss details and try to find out where they agree, where they don't agree. And Glenn actually said, because Tim has over 1 million subscribers, some crazy number. Like he's really, really popular now. And Glenn said the important part is he even said, and he's been in the mainstream media. That's where he started. Glenn said, the mainstream media is literally imploding right now. And this is the new media. And I said to myself, when I started this a long time ago from just a healthcare standpoint, and now it's turned into all this, I'm not trained in any way, shape, or form as a journalist or anything like that. It's solely based on seeking truth and seeking information and finding out why things are happening. And he said, you're looking at your new media going forward. This is your new media. Because I mean, today, Dr. Scott Atlas, the new guy in charge of healthcare, who actually talks about we should take masks off and we should end lockdown because we actually want to develop natural herd immunity, which is, oh my God, he actually is talking truth. He was suspended and bumped from Twitter today. And then Charlie Kirk, whether you love him or hate him, it doesn't matter. The guy is actually speaking a lot of truth here and there. They suspended him. Like it is completely getting out. I mean, and the thing is, I will tell you, we have some work to do because the other thing I'll say is not everyone's awake. I've been around several different groups of people this weekend, and some will come up and ask me, hey, I know what you know. Like I've been watching, what else do you know? And they're into it. Other ones, Dude, I watched the mainstream media for 30 minutes today, or 30 minutes on Friday night. I watched Don Lemon for 15 minutes. Could you say I'm sorry? Could you say
Man,
I'm sorry that you had to go? I watched Don Lemon for 15 minutes
why?
because I just had to. I'm in a hotel room and I'm like, okay, I have cable. I don't have cable at home, so I'm like, let me watch just because I'm curious. And in 15 minutes of Bremer or whatever her name is on Fox, they were both so horrendous. So I mean, even if there's a president in office that you don't like, you respect the office at least, and you call it, like Obama. Obviously, I don't love him; he's ineligible. I still refer to him as President Obama. He held the office, right? Don Lemon now refers to President Trump not as President Trump. He calls him super spreader in chief. That's what he calls him.
Wait a second. Don Lemon calls him super spreader in chief.
Yes, like
The
super
same
spreader,
man.
as in COVID super spreader, and then he calls him super spreader in chief, as in commander in chief. That's what he calls him.
So let me get this straight. The same man
Yeah.
that has a white boyfriend is calling somebody else a super spreader with a hot ass wife. No, I'm sorry, Mr. Lamone. That does not work.
And people don't know the
Not going to get any
full
brownie points for that.
details.
He knows that he's going to go to Gitmo, and he knows that head is coming clean off. That's it.
He's actually completely MK Ultra. When I watched him, I just looking at him, he's not even there. He is literally a programmed body just spewing what they tell him to spew. I know, I'm just letting you know.
Kill him. I mean, if you're that soft to succumb to MK Ultra, and I mean, they're the ones that signed on the dotted line to be in journalism. That's what they wanted to do. They wanted to make the big time. They wanted to make the big bucks and everything. They want to be popular. There's your popularity. You had to sell something. You sold your soul out for popularity. It's just like all these sports stars, all these actresses, actors, all these just singers and everything. It's like you start thinking about it. It's like you start, even the songs that we know from like the past and everything. If you really sit down and you look at the lyrics, you're just like, what in the hell is going on here? But they catch you with a catchy tune or something like that, and it sucks you right in. It's just like,
so watch this video. You ready? Watch it. I don't have, there's no audio yet, but watch the video. Just watch this video. Reaches into his pocket.
$20.
Yeah, probably about 100 there. So he's actually listening. If they can't hear it, he's listening to some basically church music. Somebody's singing a nice, really beautiful song, and he's making sure, like, and he's ready to go with his nation. Like, he's, and this is the International Church in Las Vegas, I think, that he went to, that he was listening in and checking stuff out and smiling. And he's literally now he's pulling money out of his own pocket. And obviously, like, I'm not like bragging on him, and he knows cameras are there, but that he's not focused on the cameras, or he'd look at the cameras. And so he's literally getting ready to give money to the church, right? And donate. I'm assuming that's like a pastor or something like that. I don't fully know. But the crazy part was, as this was occurring, I went on. Yeah, there's some money into the bucket. Like, thank you. I appreciate it, Mr. President. So after that, all the network channels on Twitter said he's horrible because he won. They're saying no president carries money with them. They said the Secret Service planted that in his pocket before he went in. And then on top of that, they said he's doing this as a photo op. And I'm like, wait a second. So you can't accept that the president went to a church and said, you know what? This is a beautiful place. There's someone singing beautiful music during that. I'm going to give him some money, because that's what we do. We take care of people who are doing good things.
He's probably pissed because he only had 100.
Well, I mean, I think he was counting through it, and I'm like, okay, he's counting through it, making sure it's all there. But like, yeah, he only, and the crazy part, he had 20s on him. I mean, it's like, he's not, He's a
It's not like
president.
he's
He doesn't
all
even need to have money on him, and he's just like, okay, let's do something. He did that at Trump at one of his the hotels as well. He came out and he pulled money out and he gave it to the bellhop.
Yeah. The
He
thing is that
cares. Like he's actually like this is a real person.
he always has. He's always cared. I mean, ever since day one, he always has. But they gave him the credit before. I mean, remember, he's all in all those rap songs and everything, and now Ice Cube's getting beat on. It's like, tell you what, that is the one man you do not want to go against. Right there is Ice Cube. I mean, if you've ever heard No Vaseline on America's Most Wanted about NWA, you do not want to go against him because he will just, big bank take little bank. That's it.
And let me play the skeptic. Let me play the skeptic because I know how politics works. I know that there's photo ops. I know things happen. After a while of watching politics and photo hops, you can sometimes tell when something was being done to stage a really cool photo op versus when something's being done to like that looked like a human moment to me. And I'm not saying that because I'm a Trump supporter. That did not look like, oh hey, the camera's on. Let's play with some money, etc. Like there's actually we have a human being. You didn't see other presidents doing that stuff, and trust me, there's plenty of cameras on them.
Well, the thing is, it's because he was in a church. I mean, the rest of them all worship Satan. So, I mean,
I
yeah,
know
that's pissed. It's like, oh, well, I can't believe he's doing this.
he's actually in a
I mean,
church and he's listening and he's being around people, and he's actually like out in the public. Like it's
and
unbelievable,
that's the thing. He's just one of those just generally just nice guys.
right?
And everybody's giving him a bad rap because he's getting ready to just break it all off in him. That's it. Because it has to be done. I mean, these people that aren't ready for what's coming up, do you want to make fun of us, call conspiracy theorists and all that? Well, number one, conspiracy theorist is going to die when JFK comes out. Senior is 103 right now. So you could just take the conspiracy theory whole mantra that the CIA came up with, and you can just throw that out the window. Then we could actually come to closure with who planned it all: Israel, Mossad, CIA. I mean, it was all. I mean, even Jackie knew that it was a clone. When she was getting into the hearse, she had a smirk on her face. She was just going back to get the server. There's no brain matter or any skull part coming out of his head.
So
I mean, you're taking a shot.
Dive into that a little bit. So tell us your opinion / what you read and researched on Jackie in that moment.
Well, the thing is that you would think that, the first shot came from the driver, and that's when he shot him in the neck, right? So the thing is, that's when Jackie leaned over and was trying to help him. And then that's when all the snipers cut loose. Not Lee Harvey Oswald, but we're talking the other 6 snipers. You had a gunman on the grassy knoll, had a couple other things. You had one on a bridge, but then you had one in a storm drain. And the thing is, when the car started speeding off, it slowed down. So that's when he took the last shot, when that came out of his head. And that's when she climbed back to go get it, right? So if you've ever shot anything like a watermelon, I mean, think about it. The reflexes you would have to go back and get that. Now, naturally, what would you do if somebody was shooting at you? Wouldn't she have ducked? I mean, wouldn't you have gotten on the floorboard? No. I mean, she was still up and everything like that. And because they knew they're aiming just for him. They weren't going for her. So she knew that it was going to happen, but that's why they replaced it with a clone. I mean, even at the funeral, she's like, "That's not Jack. That's not Jack. No, it's JD Tippett. This Dallas cop that JD Tippett. That's the Dallas cop that they shot. They used to call him little JFK. He looked just like JFK.
What?
So that's why JD Tippett. Look it up.
I gotta go searching. Now I gotta go.
Come on. We're doing this we're doing all this off cuff tonight.
Oh man, he does look like
boom.
him.
See, that's why they had both bodies. They had both bodies on Air Force Two, and the thing is, I actually have a picture of both of JD Tippett, his his autopsy photo and all that when he's just laying there black and white. But then I have JFK's in color from the other side, from the head looking down. And the thing is that you could tell that there was some sawing going on, and the brain and the spinal cord and everything like that was gone. It's like, there's the clone right there.
Wow.
So that's where
I've
they
never
shot
seen
the
that
clone.
before. I didn't know about that name.
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. He's the one that's buried at Arlington.
You always drop bombs.
Well, I mean, I'm just, I mean, we're supposed to be telling the truth, right? I mean, it's what we find,
Unbelievable.
I mean,
Yeah.
you can win a lot in a bar on that, if there's like a trivia thing or anything like that.
Questions that won't go away, and his name is tagged in it.
Oh, on the BBC, no less. Jesus.
Interesting. So Jackie told Junior. Oh, by the way, everyone freaked out on Saturday. I never stated ever. I don't think I said I heard or there. I've been told there could be a thing at the October 7th at an October 17th rally. I never said there was an October. I even said many shows back, like, it's not on the map. It's not on the events. If something happens, then maybe, but I didn't say that. So when do you think when they pull out the crew?
But the thing is that why do they have to? I mean, honestly, I mean, all you have to do is just sign a paper and go ahead and do that. I mean, I don't know why everybody's looking for this huge big reveal and all that. I mean, why would they show their hand now? I mean, the thing is, if they read the Constitution and saw that it's the top 2 vote getters that get president and vice president, no matter what party. So right now, effectively, you're witnessing the destruction of the Republican and Democratic Party.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing, by the way.
America First platform.
Yeah, by the way, people don't realize that. Okay, so Trump is not a Republican at all. He is just a pro-America guy. You have the Democrat. Everyone's like, "Oh, we're taking down the Democrats. You're taking down the Democrats to win the actual election." Let me tell you, after that, you're going to see the Republican people go away too, because they're just as wait until you see the crap they've been doing behind the scenes.
Yep, they're 2 wings on the same bird. That's it. They both got to go. I mean, it's just the government. It's like it's a tyrannical government. We let it get out of control because we never had it checked and balanced. I mean, they did it all under our noses. All they did was just throw a bunch of stuff right in our faces. Breads and circuses. You got your sports, this, that. They always kept you busy. But the thing is, the news was, complacent as well. They were in on, and then you had, with Obama and all them letting the propaganda come in. It's like, well, wait a sec. Well, so you could just tell us nothing but lies, and that's okay. So it's like, why do you even watch the news? Why do you watch TV? I mean, if you want to know the truth, watch movies. There's your truth. That's it.
Totally true. Totally true.
So
let me play the Q skeptic, okay? Because what I want to do is I want to make sure my goal on this show, even going forward, is we are about seeking truth. So I'm going to play the Q skeptic. I'm going to play this whole thing is completely ridiculous. It's completely over the top. What if, Jason? What if over the next year there is no JFK Jr. unveil, there's no John Kennedy unveil, there's no anything unveil, and yes, we changed the system a little bit, but there is no Mike Pence's VP. What are you going to say to the people who are like, told you all that stuff was bullshit?
Well, here's the thing though. If you're talking over the next year,
so the next 4 years, let's say that, like his next.
The thing over the next year, there's a 100% probability factor that no one will be able to tell that to you. There will be no one that could be a skeptic about anything because of our economy, because of everything coming back to America, all the manufacturing jobs, everything with the whole Nasera Jacera. Because the thing is that everything is being made here for a reason, because we can't let it get into any worse hands as it is. It's already been in the enemy's hands in China, in Iran, all these other places. Can't do it. I mean, if you got to nip this in the bud, you got to end it, and you got to go right back to America first, and that's it. It's like, it doesn't mean that we don't appreciate other nations at all, because we just want peace. The thing is that when I looked at that indictment, I mean, it makes you sick, because it's like, we sit here and we think that like all these other countries are bad and everything, and it's us, but it's not really us. It's that bitch lizard over in England, because of the Commonwealth of Nations sucked us in, had us signed in. And the thing is, when they went down to sign for the UN, we never signed into the UN at first, after it left the League of Nations, right?
Right.
But Haiti did. So it's like, well, Haiti got a part of it. So where were we? Oh, we were England's bitch. We were their police force, because then they didn't have to spend their money to go do this and do that. So they started all their little wars and all their little shit, and then said, hey, America, go ahead and go do it. Because let's face it, think about World War II. We didn't want to get in World War II at all. Nothing. How did they get us in it? Pearl Harbor. It's exactly how they did it. Ultimate false flag right there. They did it to ourselves, and that's it. I cannot believe there's a Biden flag. Now, I said I would see a black unicorn and a leprechaun that was generous before I
thought I'd show that, because it really is. It was kind of a transition. It's what you just said. It's we are one as a nation, and you know what? There's a lot of people out there who are fast asleep at the wheel, and that is 100% true. However, this is what we have to become. And by the way, this is going to happen. You know why this is going to happen? Because when this news comes out about Hunter and Joe Biden, and by the way, trust me, I am not just sitting on the whole, well, let's take the Bidens down. No, because this is also going to lead into the Wiener laptop. This is Hillary. This is Obama. This is all of them are involved. This is just one of the next dominoes that's going to go down. But this is obviously right before the election. But going forward, after this is all handled, this is about America. This is about a people that actually are supposed to care for each other. Whether or not you like somebody and their viewpoint. I just posted today, I received a coffee from a woman who was clearly very, very far left liberal, with her LGBTQ pin, rainbow all over the place. And I have my Trump 2020. And I now go around with the mindset that it is my duty to be kind to anybody, to show them, one, that not everyone's a freaking, Trump supporters are not white KKK members. Like, this is insane that people think this way. I'm trying to break the matrix in their mind. And so when she handed it to me, big smile, thank you, have a great day. She said the same thing back to me. And I can tell you right now, the two of us probably vehemently disagree on certain moral codes, certain lifestyles, etc. But we can still have a thank you and go about your day. Like, there's nothing wrong with our world going forward on the same page.
Did the coffee taste at least a little bit funny, or no?
No, she didn't see it until
I'm just wondering, because I mean, I would be looking for another barista at that point. I'd be like, sitting there right there.
No,
it's like,
she didn't see
it. Have a nice day, buddy. It's like, like, oh no.
But we have to go one. We have to go as one. We have to go as one nation. That is what we have to do. So before this election, and what are we, 2 weeks? I don't even know. 2 weeks, 3 weeks away.
Yeah, next Tuesday is 2 Delta.
Okay, 2 weeks away. What do you think they roll out over the next 2 weeks? Like, honestly, not even based on what you've read, but take all of it combined, what you think is going down, watching Twitter, what you've read, what you know. Like, how do you think they roll this out? Because I think he runs unopposed, but that's just my opinion.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's going to run unopposed.
What happens with Biden? What do you think they roll out?
Oh, with Biden, all that stuff. Oh, they're going to show that. Well, the thing is, if he's a national security threat, you cannot be president, because the president is supposed to have all top national security of everything in the nation. If the top person in the nation cannot know what kind of national security threats there are, because he's not allowed to see them, right? Well, then why are you in the office?
How would you get a daily briefing if you can't if you can't get a daily briefing, I would imagine, I don't know how it works, but I would imagine if you don't have security clearance, how do you get the daily briefing?
Yeah, you don't. You just you don't. No, number one. I mean, I know it's all hypothetical and everything like that, but people saying that he's got a chance. I mean, let's face it. I mean, you're talking. I mean, this is going to be the biggest beatdown ever in presidential history.
There's a debate on Thursday, man. They're debating in person.
Yes.
Yeah, Thursday. And Biden has put a lid on it over the next 4 days to prepare for that. How does he show up to this thing? Because I mean, I understand there's a liberal who's going to be running the whole show, and she's all like, it's all designed. There is no. How does he not? How do they avoid this laptop issue? You don't know, do you?
I mean, honestly, I mean, there's no avoiding it. I mean, the thing is, it's just like, like they said, Hunter was getting mistreated, but I mean, the thing is that Hunter's just as guilty.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is, this is what you have to take into account too. Okay, so if Hunter did this with this laptop, right? Who's to say that Anthony Weiner's laptop was actually his? What if it was Huma's? And secondly, remember all those pictures they were showing with Huma and Amal Clooney, George Clooney's wife, looks just like her. And then they had a separate picture of a girl named Heba, which they said was Huma's sister.
Okay.
Huma doesn't have a sister. Huma has brothers. Huma doesn't have any sisters. They unveiled one of the clones to us. The thing is that what if, remember, they asked early on, if she had a baby or, Clinton, it's like, what would you do? Would you, leave a baby and, go with Clinton? I mean, what would you do? Well, who's to say that this insurance policy, she'll get life in prison. But the thing is that she will still be able to at least, raise a child or whatever. But with her, she could have agreed to have a clone and then have that clone be with Hillary and recording every move, every step, everything. Because I mean, Huma was set, pretty much like first in command. I mean, that could be pretty damning. I mean, these clones, I mean, you would not believe the software in these. I mean, they unveiled them, Google did with the Soulstone microchip. That you could have your consciousness transferred to a chip. It's like, what is wrong with you people? It's like they're urging this whole transhumanism deal. They're just trying to pull it right in. Oh, Jesus.
It's coming out on CNN today. This was 5:00. It was a while ago, but like Wolf Blitzer is he's not saying it's true, but it's leaking. They can't stop this train. They even the media can't stop these leaks. That like they are
can't stop what's coming.
They can't stop what's coming. I mean, that it says no one can stop what is coming. And like, even though they're trying so hard not to cover it, they're losing their grip, man.
They blew it all. That's it. Get more popcorn. That's it. This is going to be so bittersweet. I mean, and the thing is, because it's just, and you hate to do it to people because it's like, because there's going to be a lot of stuff coming out that just, I mean, especially the stuff with kids. I mean, come on, I mean, I'm sorry, but anybody that would actually support that, they should be shot anyways. I don't care who, I don't care if it was a family member, whatever, done. There's no rehab in that. There's no nothing, People say, oh, it's a choice. It's in your genetics. No, you have free will. You know what you're doing. Did Hunter just say, oh, my dad mistreated me, so I'm going to snort cocaine off this Chinese kid? That's one of the pictures that came out too.
I know. I've been leaving them alone to be safe.
But yeah, it's just, and that's the thing. It's like stuff like that. It's like, you know, and that's the thing with China. I mean, with China, they're just like, I mean, like evil has no bounds with the communists. None. Because the Jesuits, they don't care, you know. I mean, hell, when you have the Black Pope, I mean, and they're the Catholic assassins. I mean, that's why, this is going to hit the Catholic community and all them. This is going to hit them the hardest. But you know what? I mean, honestly, I mean, if they went to the Vatican and they looked around and they didn't think anything was fishy or anything like that, I mean, I don't know what to tell them, you know? I mean, if you
Oh,
notice,
by the way, speaking of that, where you said some of that stuff, I'm gonna show screenshots of this, but you guys can't have the audio, so I'll just show you. So here's Fall of the Cabal Part 2 that dropped last night. There are 30-minute segments. I heard there's going to be 17 of them. They're going to drop each week from here out. But this was the first 30-minute segment. And they go back to Sumer. Look at that.
yeah.
So she said in this, I watched it last night. She said that it doesn't matter what happens in this whole thing. Like, we now know what they do, but you can't do anything unless you know who they are. And so Part 2 is basically centered around who we're dealing with, and she starts in Sumer. That's where she starts, and then as you go through here, she talks about how they go up to Canaan, the Canaanites, the Phoenicians, Babylonia. Like, she goes pretty deep. Talks about Moloch, and then there's parts in here that I think, there you go, Noah's family tree, the Khazar. There you go. She goes into that, and then goes into, see where she's going. That's where she's going. And she has a few maps. Talks about gold, timelines. So Malta, the Crusades. She goes into, there you go,
Dollar,
the travel, where they travel to. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. She dives into everything. Jesuits, Crusades. I mean, when people watch it, they're not going to understand the full thing because of the words she's using. Not everybody knows, but there you go, military orders.
And right there, the middle, the Knights of the Hospitaller.
Yep.
Right there. That's where hospital comes from.
Right.
Those were the ones that were actually on the field with the rest of them, helping them, aiding them, and all that. But they're also fighting. They ended up being the Sovereign Order of Malta. That is your big pharma right there.
Right.
If you notice, when Trump was at that talk for Al Smith, the one where he was just roasting on
in the beginning.
If you notice behind him, the one guy sitting next to Maria Bartiromo.
Yeah, Bartiromo. Yeah.
The guy had a Maltese cross on.
Yes. Oh yeah.
An award. And the thing is, they're all from Malta. It's all the big, all big money. They're in with the Catholics, and they're all in on it together. They're the ones that have been trading us. They're the ones that have been using us, calling us cattle, sheep.
There's the Rosicrucians.
Got that.
I'm just trying to show. Oh, here you go. Let me actually show this. This is, you're not going to hear the audio, but let me show you. This is the oath that they take. You ready? It goes deeper. Hang in there.
Now, when you said, who takes this? The Jesuits or?
Yeah, all of them.
Okay, yep. Seem like some nice, upstanding Catholics right there.
There's several more. I'll play the whole thing.
Oh, I know. I've heard this numerous times. Just bad. It's that last little part right there. Because actually the college is up here in Chicago. Loyola, Saint Ignatius Loyola. He was the first head of the Jesuits.
Really?
Yep. You know what else this is, right?
Dude.
The CIA.
Yes.
Because the CIA is all Jesuits in Switzerland.
That is the oath that they go into, and then it talks, and then she actually goes into Masons, which was fantastic, which was interesting, and she actually proved out what we've talked about, which was, so for example, our founders were Masons who actually were looking for this, like, basically architecture and the crafts and the skills. Like, our founders were not going for Lucifer. Like, that was not the intention. And she goes into that because she basically explains that it was taken over. And then she goes to the rights, which is interesting because I think Trump is Scottish Rite of the original Masons. I think he is actually like on the God side, not the Lucifer side of the Masons.
The Gnostic Illuminati.
Gnostics, correct. We've talked about that.
And the thing
because everyone connects to Scottish Rite, and I'm like, by the way, there's no way he's not a Mason, but he's not a bad Mason. He is a Gnostic.
Because you also have the York Rite as well, but that has like less steps up. But during that dinner in the Forbidden City, I believe it was him and his handlers. They took the oath. They took an honorary oath to be for the White Dragon Society.
Right. And
I mean, that's huge. It's like, that just proves that, the good / God side of China knows exactly who Trump is. Because if you notice, every place he went, Saudi Arabia, Japan, China, they all greeted him differently.
Correct.
Differently than any other leader. You had the sword dance in Saudi Arabia, Forbidden City, dinner in the Forbidden City in China. You had the red carpet deal in Japan, where he had to walk around with the man with the sword and everything.
Yep.
And then you had in England with taking down Queen Elizabeth on July 13th, 2018, and the one with the sword saluted him, not her. Right. So he walked in front of her. He inspected his troops. He walked around. He stood right in the middle instead of the outside where he was. So that changed everything right there. And they did it on the 711th year anniversary. Now, why is that such a big anniversary? We have to go back to the Revolutionary War and to the biggest spy master that has ever lived. That's George Washington.
Yeah.
I mean, George Washington, everything he's done, the CIA still uses. So they had these, it'll come to me, but they had these certain spies that they used to go from place to place and everything to tell the British spies would tell us, and then we would go ahead and there's a senior and a junior, and there were these 4 books written, 4 books that were like decode books. One went to George Washington, one went to the leader of this thing, and then one to the senior and junior of the man, what the hell was it called? I can't believe I forgot that. But so basically what it is that when it came to the names, everybody had a specific number by their name. George Washington was number 711. So let's just go ahead and just jump towards July 3rd, 2020 at Mount Rushmore. When they decided to show some love for the 174th Cyber Wing, right?
Okay.
Thing is that I don't think it exists. I think that is the Q4, because 17 is Q and there's 4. Because with the quasars, you have a Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q5.
Oh, yeah.
Q4. So what would the Q4 be? Those would be the ones that would travel through time, that would actually do the time jumping and everything like that. Because what we had to do was we had to master quantum mechanics, quantum physics, because that's how they measure our galactic codex.
That
Measure everything off your quantum, because we have our energy is quantum.
right.
So that's how they can measure how much energy we have, how much love, how much hate. That's how they know. It's like, you got to go pick this guy up, because if you think about it, and it's just like Minority Report, right? When they bust somebody before they do a crime. Well, the thing is, I mean, they have premeditated murder.
Right.
So you would eliminate the premeditated, because the quantum would pick it up, and then they would actually take them and not like execute them or anything, but they would take them and re-educate them, and then put them back into civilization.
Right.
But the re-education, I mean, it could take however long, but I mean, it depends on, the crime, but there's not going to be like that much crime later on. I mean, it's going to be like a utopia. I mean, it's just going to be all love, light, puppy dogs, rainbows, all that good shit. But
I'm going to add something here too, because and I put a post out today, which was Q is quantum. That's what this is. Whether it's person, people, yeah, totally get it. But we're going into the quantum world, which is the world we're supposed to technically live in, because everything is quantum. You're going to start seeing the potential of what we're supposed to be. Now, the other interesting thing is, I want to explain to somebody, because a lot of people get all freaked out, because I've talked about in the past the Illuminati, and you have the Bavarian, and you have the Gnostics, and everyone thinks that it's all like, oh, Illuminati bad, Illuminati. I'm not saying Illuminati is it's illumination, it's enlightenment. All right. Now, I showed you this website here, which is Washington. Okay. Washington is in his Mason outfit, whatever it is, right? And it even talks about him being a Mason. Now, I know Masons, and the Masons I know are really good people, right? Now, the Washington Monument. I have said that the monument may come down. Most likely will. I don't know how long before it will, but it possibly will, right? Because the all-seeing eye, or the pyramid at the top. Now, people would say, wait a second. This is the confusion. Yes, he was a Mason. Washington was a Mason. Jefferson, I don't know if he was or not. There's no confirmation on that. Some say he didn't accept or whatever.
Franklin was.
Right, who was Franklin? Yeah, Franklin was, right? But then the Washington people are going to be like, well, but wait, the Washington Monument has the pyramid. It's the phallic symbol. Like, but it was George Washington's. So why is it bad if he wasn't bad? The Washington Monument was brought in 1848. Like, this is way after. Like, I actually think this might have been done almost like in spite of Washington. Huh?
That's a 21 too.
Mr. Math.
Well, it's right there. I mean, right?
Is it 9, 11?
Don't doubt. It's 21.
It is 21.
See?
So I have a feeling that they actually put up the Washington Monument to basically a big FU to George Washington. Like, as in, we're corrupting the system you guys wanted, because DC has been corrupted. It's not what our founders built. They changed it.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, and Washington did not. I mean, he knew how all this stuff was going to go down. And I mean, face, I mean, that's why he's still here. I mean, people can say you're crazy, all this. It's like, look, we're biologically immortal entities. That's it. Do you believe in time travel? Yes, of course you do. I mean, the stuff that they have come up with, I mean, I have a list. I mean, well, I could send it to you right now. You could post it, but it's a list of over 11,000 patents, cosmonaut patents, like artificial wormholes, all that. It's like, all this is real. I mean, they don't make patents just to, for shits and gigs. I mean, you have to prove it. It's just like the solar simulator by Lockheed Martin, or was it? Yeah, Northrop Grumman. But I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, they're trying to tell us the truth, get out inch by inch, and it's just like the sun. The 1 or 2 days when it just looked like a ball of plasma going down, and it didn't look anything like the solar simulator before. So it's like they're just trying to drop these hints to us. It's like start the sky event. Look up in the sky. See, there's no moon. There hasn't been a moon for like 2 weeks. So it's like, what happened to the moon? It's like, I mean, who knows? I mean, they're blasting they're blasting the earth with so much like energy and vibrational waves to get the Schumann resonance up to the Earth's heartbeat back up to 13.13, so that we can actually raise our vibrations up to 13.13, and we can become one with Mother Earth. Oh Jesus, this guy. He doesn't even
Sorry. I'm sorry. I had to.
Oh my God. The forces of darkness. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Alyssa Milano liked. Okay. Oh my God.
Sorry, I had to put that up. I just refreshed my Twitter, and I had to. I had to put that up.
I'm surprised the follow button isn't checked.
I apologize. I had to put that up. It's yeah, that's an interesting one. That's
I guess somebody over there got a little crafty, because I mean, he couldn't even say that in a speech. So how's he going to type that out? I mean, no.
They are so let me I'll make it better by doing this.
Oh, that's great.
Hold on. She does it again. Hold on. And she nails it. Those are the actions of a president that like basically knows this thing's in the bag, and he's just like doing his thing.
How about his, I mean, I haven't seen the last couple. I'm still a little bit behind, but a few of his speeches, he's been very colorful.
He's been yes, he has, and he dropped
somebody's bullshit. That was a good one.
Yep.
And and the thing
is, he dropped Kennedy last night too.
I did not watch last night. I gotta watch.
I did watch the whole thing. I just saw the clip.
And the thing is, like, I mean, what if John F. Kennedy Sr. is the head of Majestic 12 right now?
Oh,
I mean, they did do the whole D class. I mean, the D class is there. All 658 glorious pages are right there. Just got to read them. They talk about the 369, the ISBs, everything. I mean, it's all there. But people see that many pages, like, nah, I'm not going to. You got to print it. You got to print it, highlight, whatever. I mean, you have to want to learn. Because if you don't, you're going to listen to us, and then you're going to say we're full of shit. But we're not. We're trying to help you, because why would I tell you something different than what I believe and what I found? I mean, that'd be ignorant of me. I mean, that would be like, it's stupid.
Watch his hand motion at the end. He was talking. Sorry, guys. I don't have audio tonight on that, so my apologies. But I'm showing it because he was talking about very well built buildings and good plans, and he was talking about this, and then he.
And the thing is,
I interrupt you.
And it's great because it's only days away. You know, we're only days away until the end of Q, because you have October 28th coming up. That's it. It's 3.0, despite all the heavy hurricane hits, you know, because it was in his first tweet. It was all in his first tweet. And he said it's the most consecutive Qs in years. They're talking about the GDP. But the thing is that in the beginning, remember, they weren't called Q. It took a little bit until they dropped the letter Q.
Mm.
Remember? Because I mean, if you look through the first, like, I don't know, 15 at least, there's no signature in it. But then finally a Q pops in. You're like, oh, okay. But then when he says consecutive Qs in years, well, that's when you have to start reading things a little bit differently. You're like, okay, 3.0 consecutive Qs in years. Okay, well, consecutive Qs, as in Q for years, consecutive, 3. So you have October 28th, 2017 to October 28th, 2020. That is 3 consecutive years in Q. It's never been done. Of course not. I mean, you're talking, I mean, what they had to do this, I mean, this is, I mean, people better, you know, really thank their lucky stars that there's people that, you know, that this whole galactic and intergalactic federation actually loves us this much, that we're actually this special, because a lot of them don't act like it, but you know,
it's
arrogance.
It's
arrogance. It's all arrogance and ego.
I've looked at it this way, and what I have read and researched regarding anything Galactic Federation and anything galactic is, and people need to know about this, because this also includes your everyday lifestyle, your everyday actions. Is everything that we do on this planet from an energetic standpoint affects the universe. It affects our galaxy. And guess what, guys? We're not the center of the entire universe. We are our center. There are other planets out there. There are other civilizations out there. There are other beings out there. There are other everything out there. There's species. You can go look all this up. It's not us making things up. If you aren't on this ET thing yet, then you need to freaking go get out of your little blinders and start looking and reading. Like, this is not rocket science, right? But we have allowed this freaking dark cabal to do so much BS on this planet. And they also play with, we played with nuclear bombs. And guess what? We screw up, talking about quantum, we screw up the atmosphere outside this planet quantumly when we set off bombs and wars and nuclear this and nuclear that. They're pissed. They don't like it. Meaning, get your act straight, planet Earth, because you're affecting everybody, and the human beings don't even know. We're just like, oh, keep going. No, you're affecting the universe in a negative way. We've got to clean up the act.
Well, the thing is that, remember when we talked about Admiral Byrd going in that inner Earth and all that, and then mentioning about our misuse of atomic energy with the whole dropping the 2 bombs and everything?
Right.
Well, anybody that decided to pick up this book, you know, the whole Keys of Enoch thing is,
I have it right next to me all the time now, because it's delightful to read.
Right.
It's very high glare, but
that's
okay.
Mine is beyond colorful. And well, and the thing is that in key 118, right?
Oh, now you're gonna make me go looking. I like when you make me. What page is it?
Page 169.
Okay, because I have not
16.
mastered the book. 169.
7.
Did you say 169?
169.
Okay. There we go. Go for it. I'm following. Oh, look at that. The hierarchy of the universe. Look at that.
Yeah. And look, Office of the Christ. Wow. Funny. Right at the bottom, above the 144,000 Ascended Masters.
That's right.
Office of the Christ. See how that works?
That's right. Let me see if I can show. I'll show this while you. If you want to read it, go ahead. I'll bring this up.
Well, the thing is, it says, Behold now the marvelous plan taking place among the children of light. A divine plan has been issued to balance the earth's and man's violation of the cosmic law of light and love. This plan has been issued to negate man's violation and destruction of his atmosphere and his radiation fields, especially through his misuse of atomic energy. He has also caused destruction to many biological kingdoms on his planetary life station known as Planet Earth. Planetary life station. It's a spaceship. It is. But I mean, they talk about all the councils and everything. And then a couple pages later, I mean, at 23, hint, hint, says, for behold, the field is white and ready for harvest. And when you give your life to the harvesting on this planetary station, a greater ionization becomes your body, and your new body of light is connected with the galactic thresholds of the house of many mansions, which is the deliverance of all manner of flesh. I mean, then they go into who's here. There's, I mean, all the heavy hitters are here, and they're going after the sons of darkness. This is, and see, it says the key then tells us that God's plan has no end. We're biologically immortal. I mean, it's all right here. I mean, this book is just, I mean, yeah, it's $50, but the thing is that the knowledge that you will gain in this is just, it's beyond. I mean, they talk about our DNA, you know, they have the 64 sacred letter grid for our DNA, RNA. That's on page 191. I mean, this is full of just pure knowledge. I mean,
and I will tell you, it does not matter your particular faith, background, spiritual, anything. Like this doesn't offend any background. Like it's literally just knowledge. And it actually, I mean, and there's scripture and everything in there. This is God. This is just knowledge. That's all it is. It's the knowledge of our universe.
Well, and the thing is that there was a patriot named Mila Hover from Washington. She actually sent me this, right? And she's like, well, you know, you should read this and, you know, just check it out. And I'm like, okay, you know, I'll send it back in a couple of weeks. She's like, no, I went ahead and bought another copy. She's like, that's yours.
Yeah.
So the thing is that I noticed that the binder was, you know, busted. So I got some hot glue, fixed the binder and just set it down. Well, I didn't open it for a couple of weeks. So finally, when I did, just floored. I'm like, what is this? And not to mention it, I mean, it tells you what the 666, 777, 888 are. I mean, there's just, I mean, it's just, I mean, it's nuts. I mean, it's so right on that it even says that China is the first to receive nemesis upon nemesis. I mean, let's face it. It's, yeah. Because the thing, I mean, they didn't put the Book of Enoch in the Bible or anything like that, because of course, you know, they don't want any people knowing about UFOs or anything like that. It's like the Council of Nicaea and all that. That write the whole Bible. What the hell happened now? Oh, there you go. The Council of Nicaea and everybody at the Vatican, they decided to start picking apart the Bible and start, you know, writing it how, you know, how they would want it, you know, their way.
Right.
But the problem is that they pretty much altered it in a way that is paganistic. I mean, come on, you know, when you take communion, don't you ever think it's like, I mean, it's cannibalism. That's it. It's all it is. You know, do you honestly think that Jesus is like, oh yeah, here, eat this. This is my flesh. Here, drink this. This is my blood. He's probably, don't be stupid. I mean, when you read the Gospel of Thomas and the Gospel of Judas, those two are just astounding. And it's like, it's right from his mouth. I mean, he busted the apostles' balls all the time because he's just like, they're like children, you know? And it's just like, see, this guy I would have liked to party with. This guy knows his shit. Because he even went like the whole Pharisee, like the thing is like there's that Austin Steinbart. And the thing is, I cannot stand this guy for the life of me because he calls these people that follow him the Q Pharisees. And I'm like, I'm like, did he just say what I thought he just said? Like, do people even know what the Pharisees are? I mean, this guy is just flat out, I mean, bad. But then yet he calls everybody else out, and I hit him up. I'm like, hey, I'm up for it. You know, I'll do a live YouTube. Nothing. Like, see, just I mean, but all these people, oh, he's so great. I'm like, because he talks the same stuff that everybody else should know. I mean, that's all it is.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not looking for anybody to put me on any pedestal. I'm like, this is a team. I mean, this is not me. I mean, I'm just a secretary. I'm keeping shit straight. If not straight, but I mean, it's keeping as well as I can and just trying to get as much as I can out. But, you know, if it comes down the line and bullshitting people, that's not my thing. It's just not. I mean, if I'm going to lie to you, then pretty much I'm lying to myself. And that means that this whole thing is just, it's all BS. And there's no way because it's all connected. So when people say, well, you go off topic, it's impossible to go off topic because it's all connected. It all comes right around.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's so many like different, I mean, just the sheer size of this is just, I mean, it's just the magnitude.
Quite large, right?
Yeah. But the thing is, it's not me either. I mean, let's face it. We've all been given gifts to do and use during this time. And, yep. You know, you have to always thank them and appreciate the gifts that they give you and make sure that you're doing it in a good way, you know, right. That you're doing it how you're supposed to.
100%.
So, I mean, you know, a lot of stuff that I learned like early on, I mean, yeah, was it a little like kind of like a, you know, kind of like jarring. It's like, yeah, you know, like who are you before and everything? I'm like, wow, it's, you know, kind of shocked, but it's just like, but it's just another test. Everything's a test. They test your ego. They test if you're going to use your ego because they want to make sure it's like there's no ego in this. That's why anybody with the name Amazing, that's an ego. On a podcast. Starts with a P, ends with a Y, you know, Canuck. But no, I don't call myself amazing or anything like that. The only reason why I call myself Jason Q is just because it signified from my last Facebook page and I knew which one I can go to and actually let all this out without getting a bunch of shit from liberals that I used to work with.
That particular non, your audio's off.
It's off?
Well, I can hear myself.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
It's a little better now. There you go. We're going to wrap up anyway because I got to get some rest. But that particular non that you were just chatting about, the amazing one, I get a little concerned every time I deal with an anon who shuffles back and forth and can't make up their mind. And I'm not calling any particular one out. I really have stuck to, I watch all of them, but I've only really stuck to a handful that are very purpose-driven on the end goal. You know, it's funny. I put out a post like 3 days ago regarding, and I made the mistake of listening to Dianne Feinstein interview ACB, which was a giant mistake because I shouldn't have listened to her. I knew, and afterwards I basically posted saying like, if this is not handled and people are not arrested, I'll question the president after this as well. And then so many people jumped on saying, you don't trust the plan. I'm like, did I say I don't trust the plan? I said I don't like traitors to the country, and Dianne Feinstein is whatever the hell her name is driving me up a wall. I'm just saying I want people arrested, but I follow anons and I've become like the Martin Geddes of the world, praying medic of the world. Like I follow ones who don't really have any shake in their vision, their mission. Like we're like you and I, those guys, and we're all a little different. We have our own things. We have decoders, we have researchers, we have, you know, journalists, we have all different ones. Everyone has their own gift. But we have this end goal in mind where we're getting to. We want this thing accomplished, right? And along the path, you're you're going to have disinfo here and there, et cetera, et cetera. But then there's the Anons out there who every other day, they're like flipping sides back and forth. And it's like you're being distracted by everything. Like that, but when they get distracted, they distract their viewers.
Yep.
And you have to stay on purpose, on mission. Like you can get this yapping dog over here, or you can keep like focused on, hey, our end goal is restore the republic and save these kids and create a better world. That's it. Right? And are we going to get annoyed on the way there? Of course we're going to get annoyed. We're human beings. Like I get pissed when something doesn't go the way I wanted it to, but it doesn't come off. We don't go do shows like, okay, this is BS today. Take him down. The president sucks. No, that confuses all the messaging, and you don't know everything that's going on behind the scenes, but there are Anons out there who are just like all over the place with it.
But see, here's the problem with it all. Okay. People are totally missing the whole point of this whole exercise we're doing. All right. There's a reason why we're doing this. It's to learn. Is it going to be messy? Yes. Is it going to be bad? Yes. But we have to learn because we haven't learned our lesson in 200 years or however long. And, they're like, you know what? For what, if you guys are going to move up to being celestial, then you best learn not to pull this shit later on. Because we're all here to learn, the whole purpose and everything. Everybody has a purpose here.
Right.
The whole thing is that it's just to learn. Just, don't worry about this. Don't worry about JFK Jr. coming out. Don't worry about that. Learn something else. Learn more about what's going on, about why we got to this point. Mm-hmm. Who's behind it and everything. That's what you need to learn. You need to, people, it's always JFK Jr. or the RV and this and that. It's like, just stop it all. Just, that's what's stopping this. Right. Because you're not learning enough from everything else to know that, guess what? Like the whole pedophilia. Yeah, that happened. Of course. Child trafficking. Yes. They have an intergalactic slave trade. Of course. FedEx even does it. That's a good one.
Oof. We'll go on to that one a different night.
well, I'm just throwing it out there. That there's out there, but the thing is, there's so much out there to learn that, you really don't. You don't have to be hung up on one little issue and wonder, why isn't this happening yet? Because you haven't learned. You need to actually step out of your box and stop always, worried about this, worried about that. Just step back and start learning something else.
Right.
I know I'm all over the place with posts and all that because there's so much to learn. And that's all I can do is just, you got to throw it out there for the information for everybody to learn because it's the only way. That's why I say, print it, save it, do whatever, and then you got Twitter when they pull their shit and then it erases everything. It's just like, it's like all your work. It's like, they just defeat it. It's like, what do you think that's going to be the end? It's like, whoa. It's like, we already got this figured out, bud. We'll just make up new email names, get new Twitter handles and just go right back at it. And when
Agreed.
it's like, and then you just hit them back even twice as hard. What are you going to do? You kick me off again? Okay, well, I'm going to come back again with Jason Q, and you can give me a random number that's probably going to be 28 or 35 because this one was 45. I just don't care.
Right.
But, no. You're not 100%. Winning.
No.
It's like, you're not getting us. You're not going to do this. It's like, no.
Guess who wins in the end?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, we're done being their little whipping boys and women and all that. It's just, that's not us. We're patriots. That's it. I don't care where you're from in the world. If you're behind this and everything, you're a patriot. It doesn't matter, who. We're all patriots. Come together and just start eliminating, eradicating all this. And you see it over in England now. They're just starting to they're trying this whole COVID thing. It's like, here we go. Now that the COVID thing's over here is a hoax, of course. And you look over there, now they're trying to push it in Europe. It's like, well, it's about time, they start raising some hell. Because you know what? Just like any tyrannical government, take it down. There's more of you than them.
Right.
If you all band together, go get them. I don't care if you have to drag Macron out by his hair and cut his head off right in the square. They put up a guillotine. If you put it up, you best damn use it. I
Good
mean,
point.
that's it. I mean, if you're gonna put something like that up, you got to use it, or else you're just the typical French pussies that we always called you. You know, I mean, you were in on it with England. Well, your forefathers were in on it with England, trying to take us back and everything. But let's face it, you're in it with CERN and everything. So I mean, with the CIA and all that. But it's like Macron's just flat out evil, anyways. He's got to be one of the antichrists.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
And the thing is, like Antichrist, it's not like anti Jesus Christ. It's like the whole anti-Christ consciousness that just pure evil.
Right.
I mean,
that's why they're misinterpreting that so much, because they're looking for
one, and they're
looking for one, and they're looking for like a human form, and they're not looking at the in general. They forget that there's a consciousness to people, and it doesn't matter if you believe what faith you believe. You have your soul, but you have this consciousness. You're tied to the universe. You're tied to the ether. There's a consciousness. It's like when you learn something, and all of a sudden, like, oh my gosh, I had a revelation about this, and now I think this way about something. Welcome to consciousness. That's what that is. That like, welcome to, like, say you have somebody who does drugs, and then they're an addict for a while, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they recover and they're rehab and they're sober. That's consciousness. They shifted to a higher level of consciousness. They don't want to take part in the garbage anymore, and that's consciousness. It doesn't matter what faith you are. That's that's what they like. They can be a Christian, anything else. It's a higher vibration. It's consciousness, and that's what this is about.
And it's all energy. That's it. I mean, all of it. It's like, I mean, you have an electromagnetic field around you. You have an energy around you that, I mean, you could actually build up and everything like that by doing less bad and more good, and, being more happy. And because the thing is, when people start they start complaining that, this isn't happening, that's not happening. It's already happened. Everything has. I mean, seriously, what do you think the bridge is? It's the whole basic registration of all these entities. They're all the clones. It's all a show. Remember, you're watching a movie. Hello. What does every good movie have? Great actors. Hello. But the thing is that they don't have free will. They can't go around raping children or stealing children or doing their little cult activities.
Right.
They're all hive-minded under the U.S. military intelligence brigades.
We're gonna talk about hive mind next time too, because I went over some of that today. But we're gonna call it one. But I want to tell you, guess who I have on tomorrow? You ready?
Who? Oh, yeah, Anna Kate.
Kate's on tomorrow night.
Woo!
Anna Kate's on tomorrow night, and you know what? You know how crazy this is. Everyone always asks me, how do you get all these people on? How do you do it? And I go, you know what I did? You know how I got Anna Kate? Friday night, I happened to be up at 11:30 at night watching something in a hotel, and I saw she tweeted something, and so I clicked on her little thing right here, and I said, oh, she has a little email logo up there. So I clicked on it, and I said, hey, you're a rock star. Would you like to come on the show? And she literally tweeted me back in like 5 minutes and said, sure. And then in 15 minutes, she was literally basically booked for Monday. So Anna Kate will be on tomorrow night. Pretty cool, right? Awesome. So we're going to hear some of those bombs drop. Are you available this coming Wednesday night, sir? Does that sound good? We'll go Wednesday night. How does that sound?
Yep.
All right, my man. I appreciate it. Yeah, go ahead.
So what do you want to do Wednesday night? You want to do clones, or, I mean,
we got to do clones. We got to do clones. People are asking for more clones. So we'll do clones, and then let's do a little hive mind. I think that'll be good too, okay?
Well, the hive mind goes with cloning, because it's all Vault. It goes with the Vault 7 CIA. We got all that too. I mean, we're loaded. I mean, people are not even they're gonna freak when they see some of the stuff we have.
We will talk clones, and then anything else pops up, I'll think of something. We'll go through that. All right.
All right.
All right, my friend. It's awesome to do this now that you are audio and video
in sync. Yes, I'm so enthused. I'm sure everybody else is, and everybody complained about the audio. I'm like, I'm sorry, but Caroline hooked us up, and we are good to go.
All right, my man. You have a wonderful night. Everyone out there, Have a
You too.
wonderful night. And as always, this is Dr. Jason Dean, Revolution Network, Jason Q. Go out there tomorrow, go out there this week, and just serve humanity, help others, raise that vibration, and have an amazing, amazing week. Good night. Mentally, get yourself prepared for the next 2 weeks because the crap is going to hit the fan. Be well, take good care of yourselves. Have a wonderful night.